New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents the High Vibe Hour. The High Vibe Hour, 60 minutes of connections, insights, and conversations to raise your vibe. Join Rev.Julie and Rev. each week for an exploration of living a high vibe life. Tune in live every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time or anytime during the week on our YouTube channel. The High Vibe Hour, only on New Thought Media Network.
Hey everyone, happy Halloween! You're here at the New Thought Media Network. I am Rev. And this is the High Vibe Hour. I am Rev. and I am a teacher, a minister, a author, a coach. I do a lot of different things, and today I'm Snoopy. Boo.
Oh, very well done. Very well done. I'm Rev.Julie Moret, and I am a spiritual teacher and inspirational speaker at the Agape International Spiritual Center, founded and directed by Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. And I'm so excited to be here because I have only thought of Halloween as like, boo, but you have like so much more information to share about the depth and richness of this.
Do.
So,
I'm
excited to dive into that.
But before we get into there, let's just catch up. How are you doing today?
How am I doing today? You know what? We have Mary Ann. Welcome, Liz.
Hey.
And so I wanted to share something that was like really, I felt new and good, like, and where I've seen growth, because it's really easy to be aware of like what's not working. But I had a very powerful experience. Last week, I was preparing for a Halloween event, and so I went to get some candy for trick-or-treaters. It was a week before Halloween, right? And so I'm in the grocery store and I'm looking at the aisles of candy, and my mind, we're talking about trick-or-treat, how the mind can trick us. My mind was like, oh, you should get that candy, get the good candy, because it was for children that don't have a lot. And
Right.
So my mind was saying like, you should get the candy that's, for the good candy, because it's for the kids. But what I realized is the candy that my mind was pointing out was the candy I like. And normally I get stuff that I don't like because it's not a temptation and it's all
Right.
good. But my mind was like, no, get the good stuff, get the good candy for the kids. So anyway, I get the candy home, obviously the good candy, which is the stuff that I like, which has not been a temptation for me like in 10 years, right? Yeah. But I have it sitting in a bowl. It's about an hour before the event is supposed to start, and it's calling to me. It is seducing me, that candy. And I did check in with myself. So this is one of the growth things, because I've learned, and I think you spoke about this last week, I learned to like check in and see like what's going on with me. I did have a lot of emotional stuff happening. So I feel like the reason that those Reese's cups were calling to me is because I was in like a more vulnerable state. So long story short, I end up having a couple of these little Reese's cups. But the growth part of this is that normally if I go off my track, then it's like a free for all. Like a couple leads into the bag, or, I haven't done that in a very long time, but that's the spiral.
Sure.
Or then the next day I would eat more. But what was interesting and the growth that I'm seeing in myself is that I let myself have a couple that day. And then the next day, because there was some leftover, like I was done. It wasn't even tempting to me. And so it has been sitting on the counter for a week and a half now. And I haven't touched it. I'm not going to, like I did my thing. And that shows me a lot of growth. The other piece that I did is I dealt with the emotional part that was feeling the nervousness that I was feeling and the other feelings that were up for me. And I dealt with that in the ways that I know how, so I didn't have to eat it. So
I love
huge.
it. That's
Huge.
a big pump. I got to say, every year I am the house that gives out trail mix. Trader Joe's have these little packages of trail mix. As a fitness professional, as someone who's always believed that sugar was my first addiction, I always give out the trail mix. One year, this is very funny. When we first started doing this, I've been in this house a few years now and coming back to this neighborhood just last year. And first year we did this about 10 years ago. I remember hearing kids saying, don't go there. He's giving out trail mix. But last year, people were opening up the door and they were reaching and going, oh my God, trail mix. And the kids were so into, I'm not kidding. The only thing about giving trail
kids are parents. Call it out.
No. It was the kids. But the one thing that we have to do is the parents are normally with the kids saying, Mom, there's nuts in there, so be careful, whatever. We just said, and just, Mom, there's nuts. So we say it loud enough. But I just always believed, for me, that was a shift for me. It's like, am I going to give out the Reese's? And I'm going to piggyback on what you just said, because when it's left over, I'm in it. It's Reese's. It's peanut butter cups. I'm eating those. I don't believe in wasting food. So now I have trail mix.
Mom tricks us. Can't waste it.
Can't waste no food. Can't even get throw that away. That is so awesome.
Yeah,
hey, Rev,
yeah.
Can I address Liz's question real quick?
Okay.
Liz is asking, last couple of weeks ago, we did announce that Reverend Cynthia would be moving forward into teaching more practitioner training. I just want to acknowledge that, Liz. I know how much you love Reverend Cynthia. She's out changing the world, as myself and Reverend Julie, we're going to be here hanging out, doing what we do here. So we bless Reverend Cynthia and thank you for sending out the love. And she's out changing the world. I hope that is okay.
Yeah. And Marianne was like, yeah, I get the good candy.
Yeah, I saw that. You get the good candy too. I saw that. And I want to say, Marianne, you're in Kauai. You're having, is this right? Are you having Halloween in Kauai? That's a great place to have Halloween.
Did they trick or treat there? We need to
I don't know.
That.
Please drop a message in there, Marianne, if you're Hawaiian. And what are you dressing up today as? I've already said this to you before we got online. Today is the birthday of my nephew who made his transition at 28. And this is he's made his transition maybe longer than that, about 12 years ago now. So Halloween for me has always been a very interesting time. It's been a very highs and lows because I remember and I feel it. I have the feels. So I'm kind of in this incredible space right now of really recognizing where I'm at every year when it comes to Halloween. And for me, it's been honoring Sean and his work he did on the planet. He helped kids. He was a church musician. He played in my brother's a music minister in one of the biggest churches in New Jersey. He was very committed to his faith. So I honor him on this beautiful day of Halloween. And it's very interesting because Halloween, when I was growing up, was always deemed as being something evil. And I never thought it was something evil because it was always my nephew's birthday. So it's kind of like, I don't know. Did you ever have any teachings around it being the devil's holiday or something like that? Did you ever?
No, I did not have any teachings in that way, but I did want to share when you mentioned that about, did you say nephew or cousin?
Nephew, my nephew.
I just remembered, I don't know why I didn't remember this when we were speaking beforehand. I have my old roommate committed suicide on Halloween 2 Halloweens ago. So I'm really grateful we're going to do a ceremony later for our ancestors. So I will be, really calling in Claudia and sending blessings and all that.
And I'll be
So
sending in blessings to Sean, and yes,
yeah, we can
you
invite
know,
anybody that wants to take this time. In the second half, we're going to do something around ancestors, because I remember you were saying that there is something about the ancestors that has to do with Halloween. But before
absolutely,
we get to
yeah.
that, is there anything else like that's very
Yeah, the one thing I do try to stay. I'm going to teach cycling at the at Equinox where I teach, and we're having our Halloween cycle class. It's going to be a lot of fun.
ready to wear?
I'm actually okay. This is the dark side. I already talked about this. My dark side. I love horror films. It's just a part of me, and I just chuck it up. I had a conversation with a Keely Beckwith once, this is years ago. Keely Beckwith is Michael Beckwith's brother at Agape International Spiritual Center here in LA. And I remember him saying, "Oh yeah, no, I watch horror films, or I watch something dark. I just have to keep telling myself, well, that's pretty dark, and keep on rolling." I've always been in that space of, oh yeah, that's dark, but it's more fantasy than anything. So I am going as, it's this really cool t-shirt. I should have worn it. It's this t-shirt that it's one arm is kind of bloody and is dripping down and all that. And it says across the t-shirt, "I'm fine." Okay. So I'm going, do you know the term in horror films called the last girl? The last
No.
girl that's standing, like Jamie Lee Curtis was always the last girl in the Halloween films, and she's always covered in blood because she's the hero now. So I'm going as the last girl with the t-shirt that says "I'm fine."
Oh my
So
God.
that's what I'm going to. And it's
I
easy to
love it.
cycle of
That's
that.
really fun.
So
Oh, what a
yeah,
fun class you have. That's great.
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of
I just
fun.
wanted to loop
So
in. Liz also
yeah.
has her daughter transitioned during October. So and I think her birthday is November. So we'll just, in the second half, we'll do something to really love up, those that have passed on. I think that would be
Absolutely.
beautiful.
And what we'll do too, we'll give space where people can write their names of any individual you're holding in your
Yeah.
heart in the feed. And we want to acknowledge that as well. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Ah, anyway, so I believe that was very important. We have a lot of stuff around Halloween, trick or treat, we're going to talk about later on. But I felt it was very important for us to understand what this holiday is. And it is considered a holy, high holy holiday. Halloween is actually called All Hallows Eve, and it's the 31st. And it was actually created as a vigil, to hold vigil for all the saints that have come and walked this path, ancestors
Mhm.
who have crossed over. And traditionally, in some faiths and some traditions, the Halloween, All Hallows Eve, is where the veil from the living and I say the dead, but they're not dead. This is from life to life after life. The veil is at its thinnest, where we have the capability of really communing with those who have crossed over to the other side. So this is the beginning of three very holy holidays. The next day, and will be on tomorrow, November 1st, is called All Saints Day, and where we honor all the saints that have walked this path to teach us how to live in harmony, how to live in peace, that were spiritual avatars, those who were, the warriors for inclusivity. So we honor all the people we consider saints. In Catholicism, they have named people to be saints, and you have to create so many miracles to be in saints. I don't know. I don't believe in any of that. But also, I do believe that there are people that we hold very saintly in our hearts. There are people that I know that came, like Mother
Yes,
Teresa,
yes.
and people that have come through. And then on November 2nd, that Sunday, it is called All Souls Day, where we celebrate every soul that has crossed over, deemed to be saints or not saints. It is all a celebration of All Souls Day, and whatever soul means to you, spirit, soul, ghosts, many words for that energy that lingers with us. I call it the ancestors. So for me, it's All Ancestors Day. So the next 3 days are very sacred days.
Yes. That's beautiful. I was just thinking of some of the people that I would call saints at Agape, like Lissa Sprinkles,
Oh,
Theodosia, and there are a lot of people that
Mama Byers.
yes, 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 yes. Absolutely.
Mm.
Alice Beckwith. So that'll be nice. I'm glad we're going to take a moment to do something sacred with Halloween
Yeah.
other than like talk about candy.
And Reverend Julie, do you have anybody in your who really guided you? Like you mentioned Theodosia. I'm getting very emotional. Theodosia, one of the master practitioners that, of course, she's made her transition. Like I feel her all the time around me. And also Maisha Hazard, Dr. Reverend Maisha
Yes.
Hazard, people who taught me to be the minister that I am today, who guided me. One thing Theodosia said to me, she said, I would say, oh, I'm one with God, I'm one with God, one with God. And she said to me, this is coming out of Prac 2. She said, I want you to change that. And I went, why aren't we one with God? And it's just one with still has a sense of separation. You're one as God. That was when everything. Kathleen Benjamin's online. That is when I can't believe it. Theodosia was the one who got me to realize I am God in the flesh, and so are you, and so is Kathleen and Marianne and Liz. All are we are one as God. So I shifted my language. I stopped saying one with God. I am one as God, and so is everyone else. So Theodosia is a saint for me.
Yeah. So Theodosia taught me a lesson that's a little like embarrassing to me, but she was a powerful presence in my life. I didn't know her that well, but I felt her a lot. And so we had a lot of love for each other, but we hadn't spent a lot of time together. And we were roommates at a Revelation conference. We were paired together, and I had a very big job. Kathleen's loving up Theodosia also. I had a
And
very
it's her
big job.
birthday.
Her birthday is on November 2nd. So
Right.
happy birthday. So anyway, so Theodosia and I were roommates, and I had a big job at Revelation, and I was really on, and I can be very focused and very business minded. And I was really doing my thing. And I noticed that whenever I came into the hotel room, she was just like sitting very peacefully on the bed. So I had many opportunities to get out of my busyness and just connect with her, but I didn't, because I was so busy and important, and I had things, and I had no idea she was sick at the time. And I only found out later. And so that experience, she ended up passing. That experience was such a wake up to me to stop and see people when I see them, and be present, because tomorrow is not promised. You never know what next moment. And so she was one of the angels that I learned in a very painful way, but a beautiful way also. She's definitely an angel in my life. And I learned that lesson because of her, really.
Yeah. Yeah. It's powerful when we can recognize, and anyone else you're recognizing right now as being saints, or someone in your life that has helped you on the way on this journey. I want you to write into the feed. But I think it's very important that we honor our teachers. And for me, Theodosia was the very first person that crossed over that I considered to be one of my New Thought teachers. Since then, we've had many. And I remember being very, very sad. And I remember talking to Reverend Michael, because I was noticing Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith at the Agape International Spiritual Center at the time was running a class. And I said, aren't you sad? He goes, no. Why would you be? I'm sad. He goes, Skip, she lives on. Her spirit is with us. She's an ancestor. It's called life after life. And I realized I was hearing him say that, and I was not understanding until he took the time to really honor and say, no, it's life after life.
Yeah.
That helped me to get through when Sean made his transition.
It's, and I always appreciate that Reverend Michael is really good about saying, like, the people that are here that are left when a loved one passes, they will miss the physical presence. So he does acknowledge that. And to your point, I remember, like, it felt like immediately after his mother passed, his father passed, like he has had significant people in his life die, and he's back there up on stage, and there's real joy. And I remember seeing real joy in him and Akili after one of their family members had passed. And I couldn't understand it, but it's exactly what you said. They really live that teaching of life after life. There is a definitely a missing of the physical presence, but boy, talk about angels in your life, you know, Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith for sure, because he walks his talk.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're also talking about the trick or treat, and I love this idea.
Did you do the mask? Did you do the mask part?
Oh, I didn't talk about the mask. I was going to let you do the trick or treat, and I was going to talk about the mask.
Okay, let's do trick or treat. Go.
Okay, tell us about the trick or treat, because I love this. I'm more excited about this, and it leads right into our trick or treat as well with the mask. So
yeah, okay. So I already shared in the opening, like my mind tricked me. It so tricked me. Like I'm standing there in the grocery store looking at the candy aisles. There are so many candies. Sour Patch. You could put me in a vat of Sour Patch and I will have zero interest. Like you could smother me in little Sour Patch candies. I'm not touching it.
I love those, by the way. I love those.
It's like my son's favorite. So other people do like it. Kids do like it. I do not. Could have bought that. But instead, like the chocolate bars, the Reese's cups, like all those things were like, and when I was so aware, my mind was saying, you should get the good stuff because it was for kids that don't have a lot. And I was like fascinated that my mind would even try that on me and that it worked. Like that's the candy that I bought. And I have not been seduced by Halloween candy in years. And so I was just really interested in how the mind can trick us and what are some guardrails, like knowing what we know about ourselves? What are some guardrails that we can put up? Because even when I made that decision, and like I've got games, so I get home and the bowl of candy is sitting there, and my thing is Reese's Cups. Like that's what I like. So I go in my kitchen, I get a scoop of like raw peanut butter with some dark vegan chocolate chips, which is normally my thing. Like I love that. I have a scoop, I'm eating it, and like I'm like, no, that did not hit the spot. I went and had a second scoop of the healthier version stuff. And that day it wasn't working. And I really want to acknowledge that I was aware. I had a lot of emotional stuff going on. So it did make sense to me that I was emotionally being drawn to something that I really don't care for anymore. But maybe it's like the childhood memory or it's eating your feelings. And so, so the way that our minds trick us, so the guardrails that we can put up, because we're just hitting those holidays, like they are just starting.
Yeah,
right?
we are.
And so I decided like that I was going to make sure that I got in. I like to do half my body weight in ounces of water. So I decided to make sure I was really hydrating myself, and it's not gulping. Like I guzzle about 20 ounces first thing in the morning, but the rest of the day I'm just sipping water because the body absorbs it better. So I decided my thing is to like crowd out what I don't want with what I do want. So I did the candy thing. I had a couple of those. Now I'm going to crowd that out with things that I do want. So the next day my eating was really on point, you know, like I got my dark leafy greens in, I got my hydration in, and I got my workout in. And so that's really like the idea of what are the guardrails, and it can include having an accountability buddy, because we want to be able to do the fun things. Like if you want to have the candy, or you want to have the pecan pie, or you want to have the sugar cookies at Christmas, like whatever the things are, what can we do? Because our mind will play tricks on us. It's like,
absolutely.
You're tired. You don't need to go work out today. You'll work out next month. You know, like the mind. So what are the guardrails that we can get in place? And it's like, I have an accountability buddy that I work with. It can be, you know, filling up your jugs of water the night before, having them sit on the counter so you know how much water you want to get in. Food prep, so that the healthy choice is the easy choice, as Dan Buettner from the Blue Zone says, right? So, you know, I just want to invite all of us, right, to take a moment and think for this week, right? Today is Halloween. Maybe some people will be having, you know, some of the treats. Like, what are some guardrails you could set in place for today, for this
Yeah.
moment, right? What are the foods? Are you getting your protein in today? Are you doing your veggies today? And like, think like, what's practical? What's realistic for you today? I have food that's already prepped. I know my food's going to be on point for most of the day, right? For
Yeah.
2/3 of the day, my food will be on point. I'm not sure what dinner will be tonight.
One of the things I love about what you're talking about, how the mind plays tricks on us, and how does that relate to the mask that you were talking about? And I was thinking about this in our Halloween traditions or All Hallows Eve. The reason why we wear a mask is to hide our true nature, our true spirits away from evil spirits that might want to attack us. That's a sense of fear. Sometimes in our own metaphysical growth, we put on the mask, and until we understand the mask that we're putting on, we're hiding our true nature away from each other. So sometimes I wear a mask of the hero. Sometimes I wear the mask of the victim. Sometimes I wear the mask of the healthy personal trainer. Sometimes I wear the mask of the minister. Wherever this idea, and this is not where we notice that we're wearing the mask, but we must go and ask ourselves, why are we wearing the mask? And the mind will trick me into saying, oh, it's time for me to put on my minister's mask, let's go. Or if I'm going to get my manicure pedicure today, and I want to do my orange nails today. Oh, I'm speaking on Sunday, so do I wear my orange fingernail? What mask am I wearing? Am I truly being authentic and being real, especially when it comes to food? Oh, I'm going to put on the mask of the healthy person and not have what I want. You know, all this is related into this experience of the mind tricking us into wearing our mask.
I'm so resonating with that. In psychology, there's a branch of psychology called IFS, Internal Family Systems, and what we would refer to in your example of masks would be parts. So there's a part of me that's a victim. There's a part that's, you know, like the super healthy part, or all those parts, and those are all different kinds of masks. So I want to take a pause and just think, like, what mask do I have running right now? Like, as you're listening to this, what mask do you have going it's a part of you, but not necessarily the truth of you? Like, I was having so much anxiety about, so I have a big change that's coming up in my life, and I was really feeling last night like powerless. And that was a mask. That's a part. That's not the truth of me, but that part that feels like I don't have options, or that part that feels like, you know, helpless, maybe a little bit victim-y, was really up. And so I'm taking Michael Beckwith's prosperity class right now. And so like at 1:30 in the morning, I just started listening to the replay. Again, that's crowding out what I don't want with what I do want. My anxiety was really up. And so I wasn't sleeping. So I just plugged in his course, and it's prosperity consciousness, which is not just money. It's like, it's a refocusing. So when we talk about the tricks that our minds play on us by popping up these different masks, you know, be the good, loving humanitarian, buy the good candy, like whatever the masks are that are popping up, how can we create some guardrails to bring us back to the true self? You know,
and Julie, what does Michael Beckwith say about using language like "I can't afford" or this? And I've been very conscious around those words popping into the universe of this is also a mask that I can wear, or we can put out there those words, and especially in prosperity, people, when we say I can't afford this, or I'm not, there's something deep around that.
Yeah, because obviously words have meaning and they have impact and they create imprints in us. So he just spoke to this, to really hyper focus is one of the phrases that he's been using, to hyper focus on where there is massive prosperity. So like
Mm.
I'm looking out at a field of trees. Like there are just leaves everywhere. I could never count all the leaves that are out there. There is so much prosperity. Yeah. Kathleen just spoke
I
about the
saw
mask
that.
of our higher self. I know, because I'm at Agape, right? And so people sometimes think like I am just this angelic presence, and I feel the temptation to slip into like, that's who I always am. No, I'm not always that. I have guests that have been staying me this week, and
Yeah.
they were commenting about how like peaceful and calm and all these like beautiful things about me. But that is a truth about me, but it's not the whole of me. I have everything. And it's very easy, especially when we're on a spiritual track, it's very easy to fall into that mask of being higher than, better than, like purely spiritual 24/7, the higher mask self. Thank you
And
for
then
that.
and
So true.
and then we also have a tendency, we're going to take a break in a moment, but we also have a tendency, for me, and speak for me, that when I don't live up to that higher self mask, I shame myself for not meeting that standard, that Gifts of Imperfection. Thank you, Brene Brown, which is one of my favorite books. So I'm going to be completely transparent and honest with y'all. Last night I went to go, I love the film, so I went to see Sinners for the fourth time, which I love it, for Halloween, whatever. And I was starving. I mean, literally starving, but I just didn't want to go and cook anything. It was about 10 o'clock at night. I went to Ralph's that was still open, and I was really going in there to grab a banana and some little vegan biscuits. I was just going to get a little snack. The fried chicken called me. I got
Yeah.
2 pieces of fried chicken, and I took it home and I enjoyed it. And then I began to shame myself. Oh, I'm not living up to my new book talking about choosing wisely. That was my mask in that moment. I'm like going and shame. I was shaming and blaming myself, wearing the mask of the victim, the shamer. And I was receiving, I was going, yeah, you know what? Why am I even writing a book? I mean, I went to a spiral. I had to catch myself going, wait a minute, this is not your truth. We were just talking about this the other week. If you're going to have a piece of chicken, have a piece of chicken and enjoy it, and don't shame yourself for it.
Yeah, but we're so human. I love that. I think where we're both speaking to growth along our path is that we're noticing. We're able to notice it. We're able to name it, and we're able to set up the guardrails to get back on track. Like do the things when you feel like it. And I really like, the mindfulness part. Like, well, was there anything else going on for you that maybe caused you to go for something you normally wouldn't? I think that's
Convenience.
yeah.
I just didn't want to go, and I was starving, didn't have anything but popcorn in the movies, and just convenience, but also understanding too. Shame and blame is not a spiritual practice. And I remember that Michael Beckwith says this all the time. It's not a spiritual practice. And yet we try to make it to be a spiritual practice. So we shame ourselves into not doing it again. That's not reality. That's a mask of the higher self right there. I'm going to shame and blame myself into perfection. Really? Come on, Rev. Come on, Rev Skip. What you trying to do? Come on, man.
God bless us on our journey.
It's like God bless us. Y'all, we got to take a break right now, but we will be right back. We have some great processes that are happening, so stay tuned. Don't move. We're coming right back. Peace and blessings, y'all.
Are you passionate about media, storytelling, and making a difference? Welcome to New Thought Media Network, where your voice matters. We amplify diverse voices and share impactful stories. Join us in our mission. We are a nonprofit organization dedicated to creativity and community, looking for enthusiastic volunteers who want to be part of something bigger, learn, grow, and collaborate in various aspects of media production. Incredible support and camaraderie await you here. Your contributions will help us create powerful content that resonates with audiences and drives social change.
Ready to make a difference? Visit our website www.ntmedia.org to learn more about volunteer opportunities and how you can get involved.
Find our volunteer inquiry under the Engage tab on our website, or visit www.ntmedia.org/volunteer. We look forward to connecting with you soon.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents the High Vibe Hour. The High Vibe Hour, 60 minutes of connections, insights, and conversations to raise your vibe. Join Rev.Julie and Rev. Skip each week for an exploration of living a high vibe life. Tune in live every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time or anytime during the week on our YouTube channel. The High Vibe Hour, only on New Thought Media Network.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the New Thought Media Network. We are having a high vibe hour conversation in our Halloween episode. I'm loving this with you, Rev.
Me too.
This is really rich, and I'm learning so much from you. So what's the treat, yo? Come on, we talked about the treat. Give me some treats.
So I did this actually at 1:30 in the morning. This is kind of a treat in the way that we are connected, like all the unseen juiciness that's available to us humans. So one of the things that got me at 1:30 in the morning was I woke up and I was having this dream and I was like clutching myself. And I was imagining in my dream that I was holding my son and I was just like squeezing him so hard, just saying, I love you so much. I love you. 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 And it was so intense. And I woke up and God bless Life 360. I looked and I noticed he was going out to a party at 1:30 in the morning last night. I didn't know that. And so some part of me plugged into my child. And I was basically, by saying I love you, it was like, be smart, make smart choices. And so that is one treat about us humans, that we have access. We have, as we cultivate our consciousness, there's something quite juicy that is available to us. And so that's one treat. The other treat that when I started having anxiety and I started listening to Michael Beckwith's prosperity class at 1:30 in the morning. And he did this thing of like inviting us. He spoke about the difference between memory or recall, because he was inviting us to have a recall of our true self, like who we really are. And the differentiation he made is that memory is like of the ego. Recall is of the soul, because he was guiding us to remember a time when like everything was good and we were all prosperous and everything was good. But I was in like a survival brain state at that time and I didn't have access. I was like, I have no memories of anything good ever in that moment. So I wasn't able to remember. But when he said recall, when he made that differentiation, like, what's the truth about my soul, you know? And the truth is, it's interesting what Kathleen brought up about our higher self. Like that is a truth about me. And so I got this image in my mind's eye of me, like when I'm really grounded, when I'm really in myself in a powerful, empowered way. And that launched me. So a treat that we have is when I recall who I really am, because the world will seduce me into thoughts of lack and limitation and powerlessness and whatever else, the circumstances, but the recall, when I let my soul remember what's true about me, like badass to the nth degree, like nothing, nothing holds me down or back. Like that flight experience that I had, remembering who I really am. So that's the treat that's available to us in any moment. And I'd love for us to like do that. Can we take a couple minutes and just get a hit?
Absolutely. And before we do that, I want to share a treat. I had a treat this week too.
Please.
My treat this week, and then we're going to do a process so we can all find our treats. I had 2 treats this week. One was I literally said, okay, I am probably done teaching spinning and these high athletic classes. For one thing, my knees are going, yeah, you are 61, so you can still keep jumping up and down and feeling all that process there. And I literally said to the universe, okay, I want another gentle yoga class. In less than an hour, someone called from Equinox in Westwood. The manager said, would you like to teach a Thursday morning, 10:45 gentle yoga class? And I went, are you kidding me? Okay, thank you. I don't know if you know who Corinne Jean-Pierre is. She is the first openly gay Black press secretary for the Biden administration. She worked with the Obama. She just released a book called Independent. And I'm very interested in politics without getting dragged into it. And I was thinking it would be great to meet her one day just to say, I love you, queer sister. I love, not because she's more than a queer sister, but I love you. And all of a sudden I get an invitation to come to a book signing. Now,
fascinating.
Come on, universe. Come on.
Yes.
That's
So I think it's so helpful to take moments to notice it and call it what it is. Like that's a gift from the universe, because it's so easy to mow over these things, right?
That part.
So easy. Like we just had a thing before this call. You started talking about teas, and you just had this whole thing about tea, and I had almost an identical thing about tea yesterday. And so to say, like, thank you, universe, because that's a yes from the universe.
That's a yes from the universe.
And it's like, yes and more, please. So I love, I think that's a treat when we acknowledge it and claim it, because then it invites in more of those. It says we're available to the flow of the universe.
You're going to take us through a process of having our listeners and viewers find their treats.
Yeah, let's do like a sweet little thing here right now that has a big impact. And this is just a feeling tone that I got from Michael Beckwith's class as I was listening to it again last night. And it is, if you're not driving or operating equipment, I'll invite you to just close your eyes gently for a moment. This is brief. Taking a breath, taking a nice, easy breath of air. And on the exhale, just let something go, anything that's pissing you off, weighing you down, anything, any of the debris of the day. Breathing in and releasing, letting go. And begin, as we begin all things at Agape, just begin with gratitude. We're tuning in to the frequency, the energetic frequency, the radio station of gratitude. We attract at the level of our energetic frequency. So let's tune into that frequency right now. Become aware. What are you grateful for? And there are moments when it easily feels like not a thing, like there is not a thing to be grateful for. So double down and find something that you can be grateful for in this moment. It could be that this podcast right now is a lifeline. So be grateful for it. It showed up and you said yes. Other people may have passed by, but you said yes. So what is it that you can be grateful for right now? This breath. And see if you can come up with 10 things. Like, especially if you're feeling like there's nothing, like literally on your fingers, this breath, if you have clothes on your back, if you're going to eat food today, like, some people are feeling very grateful and they could just do a plethora. They could just fountain over with gratitude. But if you're in a state, and we all have states every once in a while, if you're in a mood, literally, what am I grateful for? Grateful, 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 grateful. And from that place of gratitude, let's go into recall, not memory, but like soul recall of your true self. So memory, the ego can get in there and be like last night when I started this, I didn't have an available brain state to find anything good. And like literally, Reverend Michael was guiding us to remember a time when you felt prosperous or something like that. But I was like, we were talking about being brats before the show, Skip. I was like in a bratty state and I was like, nothing, not a thing, zero, nada, right? And then I love this discernment because he said, well, recall, if you don't have access to an actual memory, recall, which is your soul, which is eternal and everlasting and forever, recall who you really are. Like get an image, get a feeling tone of your true self. And for me, and you can make it up. So if that doesn't open the door for you, make it up. Because that's what worked last night. I had to make it up, but what I made up was my soul recall. And I got this image of how I feel when I'm really aligned, when I'm really in a clear place on stage, at the Saban Theater, at Agape, streaming to over 180 countries and territories. And I feel more than my higher self mask. I feel the true angelic presence that is a true aspect of me. I feel the sincere desire to love and to be a blessing, to let that energy wash over every person streaming, archiving. And that feeling tone allowed me to get back into my body. So I'm inviting you in this moment to become aware or make it up, because the part of you making it up is your subconscious mind. It functions with volition, with purpose, and it will give you exactly what you need. We'll get an image. What do you look like? How do you dress? Where do you go? What does your body feel like when you are your true self, who you came into this world to be? And it's not poor, pathetic, doesn't have nothing, nowhere, no how. There's something of you that is here for glory, for sharing, for contribution. Make it up if you have to. Breathe it in, get that image bright, make it compelling, make it exciting. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Release and let go. One more time, breathe in, get an image of yourself. Make it up if you have to. Pure, clear, generative, generous, healthy, vital. Notice how you look, what you wear, where you go, what you do. Bright, clear, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Release and let it go.
Yeah.
And let trillions of light particles from that image rain down inside of every proton, neutron, electron cell in your body, that it becomes your way of beingness. As we roll over to Skip right now for another blessing of the ancestors, allow this imprint to become part of your neural code, your neural pathways of remembering your true self so that you are magnetized in your thoughts, words, deeds to become the living iteration of that truth.
Yeah.
I'm going to pivot it over to you.
So what I got from this is that word recall. Recall is such a more powerful word than remember. For me, because memory is a mind state for me, recall is a full embodiment of that experience. And I love the recall because we've all had those moments that we can always instantaneously recall and or go through the process. That was brilliant. Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure.
So as we are celebrating All Hallows Eve, this is a time where we really begin to understand our ancestors. I'm going to use that word ancestors, and in our ancestral realm, because we will all have that experience of crossing over into the ancestral realm. And as we cross over to the ancestral realm, understanding our ancestors have no gender, no color, sexuality, has no personality. It is just pure spirit with the intention to guide us, to lead us, to give us a way to maneuver through what we're experiencing at any time. And I believe in this moment, we're calling forth our ancestors to help us to remember our true state versus this personality experience of what's happening outside of us. So I want everyone just to close their eyes just for a moment and just go deep within and bring into your mind, into your mind's eye, an ancestor that has crossed over, someone who you know is holding you and guiding you. Mine is my nephew, Sean. He is an ancestor I'm calling forth. And you call forth that ancestor as well. If you would like to drop it into the feed, the name, Reverend Julie's already dropped in Dr. Maisha Hazard, Alyssa Sprinkles, Theodosia. And we recognize them as our teachers, as our guides, as our support on this human realm. And this is a prayer from our Indigenous brothers and sisters. It says this: beloved ancestors, we call upon your wisdom, your courage, your enduring light. We honor the path you walked, the sacrifices you made, and the dreams you carry so that we might stand here today. May your strength rise within us. May your guidance whisper through our hearts. May your love remind us that we are never alone. For your spirit breathes through our breath. Our prayers echo in our bones. And your hope continues through our lives. I bless you. I thank you. And we stand in your name and in your legacy, and we vow to live with dignity, compassion, and truth. Walk with us, guide us, protect us, and lift us into the highest good. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. Wow. I just had like a healing. I just had such a powerful experience. When you started speaking and you said like calling our ancestors to guide us, I started thinking about my ancestors, and my first thought was, no, let me call in like Isis, because I was thinking like my ancestors weren't like spiritual in the way that I am. So I was thinking, no, I need to call in somebody else. And as you were speaking, I realized like, no, everything is in divine order. And those people that I didn't think of as necessarily being able to guide me as a very like intensely spiritual person in a very specific way, I was like, no, they have something to offer. And it was almost like a forgiveness, or not necessarily forgiveness. It was like a peacemaking and like an appreciating of them for who they are. That was really powerful. I'm so grateful for that. Thank you.
And as you were talking, I'm reminded of my father, which we had not the greatest relationship when he was living. A lot of it was because he was very abusive to my mother, and she left when I was 1 year old. So what I got from my mother was all the things that were wrong with my father. I internalized that. So I carried this for over 40 years, even after his passing. And I was in a ceremony during the pandemic, the forced isolation, I should call it. And I went to a ceremony and I met my father in the vortex. He has since made his transition. And I said to him in this experience, I said, why did you leave me? Why did you not love me? What did I do wrong? And my father's spirit said to me, I've never left you. I've always loved you. You have done nothing wrong. In that moment, there was an instantaneous healing that happened within me towards what I thought about my father. So thank you for helping me to remember that.
Wow, that is so, so beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. I can't believe the hour passed again.
I know. Rev, what are you taking from this experience, this conversation we just had? What are you taking away?
I am taking what I just spoke to. Like that's gonna really be inside of me. I'm thinking specifically about my grandmother on my dad's side and my grandfather on my mom's side. and like just really appreciating their eternal presence. Yeah, that's what I'm going to take away. I'm going to really be with that and be with them and be grateful, for what they did offer,
Yeah. I'm taking away a lot of what you just said. I'm taking that away as well. I'm taking away honoring my ancestors, being more diligent with that practice, especially before I go up and teach or in front of a pulpit or whatever I'm doing, on a pulpit, really honoring my ancestors. But one thing I am taking away, I'm going to really dig deeper into this word brat that we were talking about.
Yeah, we were talking about brat. Yes.
And understanding, we were kind of talking about, I was a brat. I was a brat today, and understanding what am I really saying? Because I think brat is a linguistic convenience for me, but there's a deeper thing that's coming forth for me to recognize where I'm at and to do it without shaming myself.
Yeah, because we were talking about brat, and I was saying another friend of ours had recently described herself as a brat. But what I'm hearing is when with both of you speaking about brat is just saying what you really want, like being a stand for what you really want.
Yeah. It's
So
powerful. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Time together.
I do too.
Everybody's streaming and archiving. We're always so grateful for your presence.
Absolutely. Where can people find you, Rev?
On Instagram at Rev.Julie Moret, on my YouTube channel, and you can go to my website at juliemoret.com and sign up, give your email address, and then I can let you know when I'm teaching again.
I love it.
I send out one email a year, if that, so you will not be bombarded.
I love it. And I am the absolute opposite. You can find me on Instagram and on Facebook and sometimes on TikTok. I'm Rev Skip Jennings. That is my handle. And go to my website. You can sign up for my newsletter. And I'm on the opposite. I do every other week. I do one from a personal writing. I write to my community. And there's one that came out today from about Halloween and All Hallows Eve, and then I advertise all the things I'm doing. Speaking of that, going to Bali, we have room for 6 more people. That's growing. People are coming in
since last week.
Yeah. So, there are promises, and so I'm going. Okay, they're saying I'm really going. I'm signing up. I'm going. Okay.
I love it.
Good. Okay, so it's growing. If you want to go to Bali with me on a sacred trip, we're going, and it's going to be March 14th through the 27th. You can go and be in Bali with me for the Balinesian New Year. I am always, go ahead. I love that. I am just so inspired with you and all the things that we are going to do and we're doing right now. Stay tuned, folks. Buckle up.
Yeah, we got some good stuff, man.
I love you so much. All right, so everyone, we love you. Peace and blessings. And just know that you are so incredible, and be kind, and transformation is a choice. And you chose today. You showed up. Till next week. Peace. I love you, Rev.Julie.
Love you.